Welcome to Inspiration Station, where we build a sanctuary for your creative spark together. I'm Karina Pardis, a composer, activist, chocoholic, and self-care mom. I'm so glad you're here. This is a place for you whenever you need encouragement or a reminder to believe in you. This episode is going to be fun because we're talking about playing pretend. This isn't just for kids, so don't rule yourself out of it. At its core, playing pretend is about honoring your imagination, and this is an essential skill if we are to engage in anything creative. Imagine is a verb, something we do to form mental images of things not present, to think, believe, fancy, and to see possibilities for a future different from reality. This is the precursor to any time you create. This is what happens when we say, what if? Or, I wonder. Anytime you are creative, you are bringing something into reality that did not exist before. And that is so cool. But you had to imagine it first. John Muir said the power of imagination makes us infinite. Imagination is not a finite resource. Imagine with me, please, that you are surrounded by people you love. Imagine how you feel in that place. Take a deep breath. After doing this exercise, how do you feel? I physically feel how I was imagining. Right now in the present. I didn't just think it, I imagined it, and the feeling became real. This is the power we each have when we play. Karen Purvis said, scientists have discovered that it takes approximately 400 repetitions to create a new synapse in the brain, unless it's done in play. Then it only takes 10 to 20 repetitions. That is amazing and so cool that our brain learns faster and makes those connections easier when we play. And we know that creating new things is all about connecting the dots, putting together connections in order to build new things. Psychologist Susan Lin said, play is the foundation of learning, creativity, self-expression, and constructive problem-solving. We need each one of those things. It's so important to the work that we're doing. Often, I think that we feel that play is way too childish. But it's not. It is the foundation of everything that we want to be. It's the foundation of being human. It's how we learn and grow and create connections to each other. S. Herbal said, play sharpens our talent for empathy and collaboration. It's the antidote for social isolation. If play sharpens our talent for empathy and collaboration, I want more of it. Oh my goodness. That is such an important thing, not just for me as a creator, but for me as a human being. For me as a wife, and for me as a mother, and as a sister, and as a friend, and as a daughter, as part of this world. We need more of it. Susan Lin also said that pretend play combines two wondrous and uniquely human characteristics: the capacity for fantasy and the capacity for and need to make meaning of our experience. She has this in her book, The Case for Make-Believe, Saving Play. Highly recommend it. So how can we include play, especially playing pretend, in our creative practice? I have a few ideas. This is by no means a comprehensive list, and I would love to hear if you have anything to add to it. The first is schedule time to daydream. We all daydream, we all do it. But have you ever scheduled time specifically to do it? It feels weird at first, I'm not gonna lie. It feels really odd to say, okay, in today's schedule, at this time, I am going to daydream for this long. But it has made a huge difference in my creative practice because it tells me that this is important. It's a priority and part of the work that I want to do. And sometimes these daydreams mean nothing. Sometimes they give me new ideas that I want to iterate upon and try. And sometimes they're just silly and fun. I enjoy reveling in the fact that I can be silly and fun. Which brings me to the next thing, laughter. Laughter is so important in our pretend play. Laughter can be applied to our creative practice in a number of ways. First, when we are able to laugh with people outside of work, it gives us fuel for when we go back to work. And then, I don't know about you, but there are plenty of times when I am creating and I make mistakes or I try something that completely flops, or I try something and it miraculously works. Laughter is a completely appropriate response to those things. It helps me loosen up and not take myself so seriously, because when I take myself too seriously, my output of creativity is inhibited. Play games. Playing games can be, once again, outside of your work or inside of your work. We can gamify what we're doing and see, can I do it faster than I did before? What happens if I do this? If I have a new sound library, for example, that I'm trying out, just opening it and saying, what happens when I put this dial all the way to the right, now all the way to the left, and not caring if it sounds good or not, but just playing with it. You can do that with colors. You can do that with different mediums. You can do that with the way that you brainstorm ideas. Playing games is also really awesome when we do it with other people. Like was said earlier, play is a collaborative experience. These can be board games, these can be video games, they can be pretend games with kids, which I talked about last season, was learning how to imagine from children. One of the things that I super love doing is playing Dungeons and Dragons. This might not be for everyone, and that's okay, but I want to tell you why I love it so much. Our brain does not differentiate between what is pretend and what is real. If we are experiencing something, even a pretend something, our brain believes it and integrates it into our own experiences. So when I pretend to be someone else or something else or do things that I would never do in real life, I learn how to do those things in real life better. This is especially important for me with different emotions and empathy. Being able to pretend how my character might respond emotionally to different situations helps me as a person in real life better be able to recognize those emotions and act in a way that I would want to. It helps strengthen my integrity. It also helps me tell stories, and storytelling is super important when it comes to play and creativity. The story that we tell ourselves makes all the difference. We're going to be talking about this next time more in detail, but to sum up, we believe the stories that we tell ourselves, whether or not they are true. We believe them. And so to be able to change the story or even just recognize the story, we empower ourselves to be able to create a new world. Another thing that you can do to include play in your creative practice is play on a playground. I don't know when you did that last, but it can be pretty fun. Let yourself be silly. Don't worry about anything. I was going to make a list, but really it comes down to not worrying about anything and just letting yourself be and have fun. You can make a new skill you need to learn into a game. I talked about that a little bit already, but when it's a brand new skill, instead of saying, I'm so bad at this, I need to be better, that's not very motivating. So instead, just playing with it and allowing yourself to learn through mistakes, to learn through experiencing it. This is a form of play. Another thing you can do is ask, what if? And run with it. It doesn't matter how absurd the what if is. Play it out in your mind to the end of the story of what are all the possibilities that could happen. Maybe you'll find something useful in there, and maybe you won't, but I promise it's useful regardless. It helps your brain to expand its reasoning and ability to solve problems, and in general, increases your awareness of the world around you. And that awareness is necessary if we even want to have dots to connect to each other, to build new things from. Tara Moore said, "Playing big doesn't come from working more, pushing harder, or finding confidence. It comes from listening to the most powerful and secure part of you, not the voice of self-doubt." It's not about bigger is better. It's about connecting with yourself to the world around you, to the world of possibility and imagination, which again is a verb. It's an action, something we do. Dr. Joe Dispenza said, "When you believe in yourself, you believe in possibility." I believe that you can do anything you imagine, and I really hope you start imagining on purpose. I know that play gets a bad rap for adults. Ignore it. It is so important to be able to learn how to play in order to connect to the innermost parts of ourselves that are capable of making this world a better place. Because you will be able to be more authentic and genuine and show all of you, not just parts of you, in the things that you create. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm excited to talk to you again soon, and until then, stay creative. Here in this moment with human needs and growing dreams, there's so much out there in the world. Commercials and billboards are telling you just what to do and asking who you think you are. Which voice will you listen to?